Hello, Bianconeri of Toronto and beyond. I'm Rocco Fasano, and we are Bianconeri YYZ, a Juventus official fan club in Toronto. We're gathering today after Pirlo's debut as coach for Juventus, a 3-0 victory against Sampdoria at the Allianz Stadium with goals by Kulusevski, also in a debut and getting on the score sheet right there. And Bonucci, and of course, Ronaldo scoring right away in the first game that he plays. So 3-0 for Juventus. We are gathered today for a very special reason. It's the very first, of course, game of the season, but we have a special giveaway as well, which I think has caused the attendance to swell beyond our usual. We do quite well, and in every meetup, but this time around it's a little more than usual. I'm very happy about that. So before we get right into the game, I want to do a quick brief announcement. And some of our leadership team here is present so far, and other members are going to join us throughout the call. The one member I want to recognize is our graphics expert. Name is Dan DiCicco, and that's the gentleman with the hat right there and the glasses. Very good looking guy. Great guy. The reason why I wanted to, the little announcement I wanted to make was that as a group, what we wanted to do is to grow, of course, right? We're a tiny little JOFC that started in October of 2019, and a few months later, COVID hit, and we're just trying to make it a go of it. And guess what? At the end of the year, we tried to say, okay, we're going to grow. We're going to add 20 more members. That's 50% growth, and I'm very, very proud to announce that we have just hit this right before this game. So big congratulations. Thank you to everyone who hustled to make this possible. Thank you to all of our new members and all of our renewing members for making this possible. So I'm really proud of this. And of course, this couldn't be done without you guys joining. It's your club, right? So we now have about 59, 60 people. That number is growing, ticking up still. It's not done. So now it's up to us, the leadership team, to really show you what we're made of, and to now deal with you, I guess. It's all right. So before we get into this little episode, this little meetup, why not get to know each other really quick? I'm just going to name some of our participants so that we can keep everyone, we can keep basically know what the heck's going on. So we have Ivan, we have Daniel, who I just introduced, we have Martina, we have Giuseppe, who's joining us from Belgium. I understand that he probably won't be able to stay for long. I mean, it's only 1:45 in the morning over there. We have Nick, who's a member as well, joining us from Montreal. We have Colin, and I want him to tell us where he's from soon, as soon as he gets the mic. We have Gianfranco, we have Michael, we have Vito, we have Anthony and Mark Lariola, and then we have an LA contingent. Okay, we have a bunch of people from the West Coast who've just joined us, and that's Matteo, Said, Aria, and Fabrizio. Coming back to the Toronto contingent, we have Vishnu, we have Dan Chiappetta, Joey, and Marco. So that's a lot of people. It's gonna be quite the task to get in on that. Ivan wants to come in. I think that we have someone join us in the meantime. Sorry.
Yeah, two people join us. We had Mo and we had Monica. The third Lauriola joining in, so welcome to both of them as well.
Welcome to Momo from Montreal, and Monica I think she's actually working right now, and that's how dedicated our people are. So it's wonderful that we have people sign in. and despite of that. So, and I'm proud of the fact as well that and Stefania is their club president, by the way, and of course, by virtue of that, the leadership and part of the leadership team. You know, we do have a growing contingent of women as well, which is wonderful. You know, we champion diversity, and that's a big part of who we are and what we are in Toronto, in the Bianconeri YYZ of Toronto club. Okay, so enough introductions. I was really surprised, and I'm gonna ask Ivan if you don't mind putting up the graphic of the starting lineup for this match here, because I was on the phone with Ivan and I just started screaming and just happy. I was just so happy to see, and so surprised and pleasantly surprised, to be completely honest, with this lineup. I mean, it was gutsy. It was a gutsy move. I think do you have it up, Ivan?
Rocco, I'm a bit frozen here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can.
I'll bring it up in a second.
No problem.
For some reason,
Yep.
it's playing a trick on me. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I can get it. Hold on.
Perfect.
Share screen. Okay.
So Pirlo put on a 5-4-1 formation. So we had, now we can see it. We have Szczęsny starting from the right to the left. We had Quadrado, Bonucci, Chiellini, Danilo, and Frabotta, of course, the young, brand spanking new under 21-year-old from the under 23 team. Rabiot and McKennie in these holding midfielders, and then what appeared to be as wide the wide left Ramsey, and wide on the right we had Kulusevski, with Ronaldo playing all the way up top. So this was very unusual to me. It seemed very but I don't know what it was. It was just joy. I was screaming. I was happy. It was just so refreshing to see this. So I want people to come in on this, though. I'm actually gonna start with some of our friends from LA who joined us, and I know Fabrizio was putting up his big scarf earlier on one at this, I think, Silicon Valley. Why don't you come in, Fabrizio? Tell me a little bit of what you thought of that starting lineup, and we'll jump around a little bit in the order. Why don't you go ahead, unmute yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm from Silicon Valley. They're from LA. That's a big difference. So let's not mix up.
Okay.
We have a big rivalry.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding. So no, I enjoyed the lineup. I was really surprised not to see Bentancur, to be honest. I thought last year he was just phenomenal, and that he didn't play, and I thought he was injured or had some problems, but he subbed in. So I thought that was bizarre. But apart from that, I think it's an interesting lineup. That, I mean, when Dybala comes back and when we have Dzeko up front, it's going to be completely different. So it was very interesting to see that he is sticking to the three in the back. And I think when the league comes back, is going to be quite a good one. If I have to comment on it, McKennie, I think, played really well. Rabiot, I wasn't too pleased. He kind of fell asleep too many times. Ramsey was my biggest surprise. It doesn't even look like the player of last year. So
we're gonna come in. We're gonna come in on men of the match in a few minutes. But I too was pleasantly surprised with Ramsey, to be completely honest. I wanted to get Colin's impression of what he thought of starting. Like, what was your reaction to that, Colin? Let us know what you thought about that. Please unmute yourself.
Hi guys, so it's Colin coming from Dublin, Ireland. Long time Juve fan. What did you think of the starting lineup? I mean, I was absolutely glued to Twitter all day today, and I just saw this controversy about the left back position, and I have to compliment Pirlo because, you know, there was so much talk. I mean, people were slating Pirlo. People were saying, you know, Pellegrini, he's not there. You know, we don't have, you know, the Brazilian left back. Everybody panicked, and he was just, okay, we got this guy from under 23s. I know him. We play him. He's gonna, and he really had a good game. He really had a good game. It was just such a ballsy move. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's never managed a game in his life. And, you know, I talked to my dad afterwards. My dad is a Liverpool supporter. I was trying to tell him about this. It was like, you know, this guy's never managed a game in his life. In his first game, he makes a move like this.
Yeah,
No,
that's incredible.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who is absolutely ice cool. You're talking about the epitome of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just to make that move alone, I'm like, you know, and I saw him hugging Frabata after the game, and you know, I was just impressed. I was just, you know, well done, kid. You know, but it wasn't just that. McKennie was fantastic. It took him maybe 20, 30 minutes to get into the game, but you know, he put in a lot of effort. There was a lot of tackles he put in to try to win the ball back. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we're gonna get a little bit into the individual stuff. I know it's inevitable to just slide into giving your opinion on the performance of an individual player, but absolutely, just by way of background, the Frabotta choice came as a result of Pellegrini, who was slated to start to replace an injured Alexandro. Pellegrini was put on on basically on the transfer list, or it's very likely that he will be transferred in this coming week out of necessity. Kind of more of a management move than a movement of the heart, let's say. And it seems that for one reason or the other, De Sciglio wasn't ready or didn't have the physical fitness to withstand the Lions' share of the match. So he went with Pirlo went with the selection of Frabotta, who was an under 23 player who kind of, you know, just walked onto the field and I think put on a very brave performance, considering the fact that if you told Frabotta yesterday that he was going to start the game or he was going to play the lion's share of the match, you would have thought you were crazy. But I want to stay over in our European contingent, recognizing that people can't stay for a long time, and I'm going to call on Giuseppe, who is our good friend, and yes, he you know, in case you're wondering, he is not the twin brother of Giuseppe Bognani, but he's actually Giuseppe himself. So definitely do come in and tell us what was your impression? What was your reaction to seeing this starting lineup?
Well, how to everyone, first of all, and I will stay a bit, probably not till the end, but I will stay. No, what can I say? I was a bit sad today. I was a bit sad because I saw and I agree actually mainly with Colin, because I saw so many strange things on social media after we announced that Pellegrini was out. Not deserved because we don't know. We don't know Pirlo. Nobody knows him in terms of Mister as a coach. We don't know him. We don't know what he has in his. And I saw the insults at him like, Pirlo, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Is this your first move? And so on and so on. So I was quite sad to see all those reactions because we are overreacting. Then Colin already said a lot, so I will not repeat. But what I saw in that formation was a lot of guts, you know, from Pirlo, because he's playing with three players, and we praised the Bayern Munich system to play with young players to try them. If you see Kulusevski, McKennie, and then Frabotta, there are three new young players that he launched on his first day. What I loved is the guy had zero margin to mistake, zero, because it would have made mistake today. For 1 week, media would have killed him. He knew he had zero mistakes. He dared to do it. McKennie is a guy that he saw, he believed in it, and not only he played him as a starter, but he gave him the confidence to complete the game. Those things are really beautiful. And then he didn't really talk about a lot of players in his post game, but he really talk and took the moment to speak about Ramsey. And this is also a proof that he believes in the player, in the qualities. And if you look at the thesis that he wrote, and you saw the first, and I don't want to go too much in detail, but you see that the players are following him. And what I love the most in the game was especially that you see more than how they played, you see the difference in the management and the people management. The players want to for Pirlo instead of they have to. And that was something I liked. And you see in the 11 starters.
Yeah, and that's definitely one thing that from the two games that you played that I've seen the same. Its attitude is different. I mean, the gameplay is starting to change. You can tell we're probably going to get into the gameplay very shortly, but definitely they're playing for him. There's something to what you just said. Absolutely. I want to go to now. We're going from Europe to Canada, but not quite Toronto. I want to give homage to our friends, and I use that French word on purpose. Over in La Belle Provence. So we have Nicolas and then Mohamed. But first, Nicolas, what was your reaction to that lineup? And give me, I'm going to add another topic here, your first impression of Pirlo's gameplay. I did make some veiled reference to that already. So why don't you come in, Nicolas, and give us first your reaction to the lineup and the impression of Pirlo's gameplay, early impression.
First off, hi everyone. And what I'll say is I was a bit surprised just how much, Pirlo left his how much the gameplay changed, because it was a really short offseason, obviously. And I was happy to see that too, because, he was able to take this team and in 6 weeks, just, put his stamp. Obviously, changing from the four-man backline to the 3-man backline it's not an easy feat. Obviously, for Chiellini and Bonucci, it's something they were used to under Allegri about 4 or 5 years ago. And watching this team today, it's like it was like night and day compared to like their last game against Roma. What was it, like beginning of August? Just the way they won back the balls in the midfield. I think McKennie had a huge part of that. And the way the wing backs were getting up in the play, but not too much. One thing I noticed under Sarri, the wing backs were really getting forward, especially Cuadrado, but they weren't very creative. And I think today they were getting forward, but not too much, and they were still creating chances. So I think that's what's important for this team, especially when you're going to rely on those wing backs. I liked Frabotta also. And I think it's just in general the midfield completely different, and I was so happy to see.
Cool. So I wanted to then go to Mo, ask the same question, and maybe we could move away from the lineup unless there's something egregious or something different that you think that others haven't said so far. But what was your first, and of course Mo being El Tactico, whose videos we watch through Giuseppe's channel. We're very thankful to have you on as well and be one of our members, Mo. What was your first impression of Pirlo's gameplay? And also, I'm going to ask you, just a question, just for you. Do you think we're going to see Frabotta, more of Frabotta in the near future?
I'm going to start with the last one first.
Okay,
Frabotta, it all depends on this week, depending on who's going to come, who's going to go. If Pellegrini leaves and that's it, we're done, then yeah, we're going to see him for sure. An important thing that was not mentioned is that Pirlo knows really well the under-23 because he was to be the coach of the under-23, so he knows all of them. Whenever he needs, he can pick one, put him in the squad. We're going to see him, but it depends if it's going to be as much as we expect or not, depending on the Mercato. So
all right, so I'm gonna just cut you off, and since you mentioned the under-23, like what other under-23 player could you foresee being called up? Because I was expecting Wesley Gasolina. You know, I just love that player's name. You know, like, and but he's also left back, by the way.
Yeah, I think Fagioli will be. I don't remember who from the under-23 stayed, so it could.
Yeah, you're right, because Zanimacchia went to Saragossa, Real Saragossa.
That's right.
And, you know, there's been an Olivieri, I think, went to Empoli, if I'm not mistaken. So there's been a lot of movement, like a little bit of putting our gioielli in vetrina, as we say in Italian. You know, we kind of show our wares, and you know, people start to like, so they'll come and pick and we'll send them off on loan. But yeah, it should be pretty interesting. And you know, players like Nicolucci Caviglia, who is of age. We don't know exactly where he's going to end up. I think there's talk of him staying at the under-23, so maybe he might make a call up. But he's played, I think, in Germany a little bit, and at Perugia last year. So you know, there's a lot more where this came from. But why don't you give us your impression of Pirlo's gameplay and anything else on the under-23, if you wish.
Yeah, for sure. So I was really happy. I saw happy Juventus. It's been years I didn't see that. They enjoyed playing. There was some nice flow, nice passing, a lot of chances created, wasted as well, but still it was really nice to watch. Mind you, it's still Sampdoria, but you could compare this game with the previous Sampdoria game and you're going to see a huge difference. So I'm really excited, and just look at all the youngsters that play. Kulusevski is a youngster, McKennie is a youngster, Frabotta is a youngster, and Pirlo, he's like, guys, I don't care if you're 21, 22, just go ahead, play, show me what you got. And they loved it. They're just expressing themselves, and we saw like a really nice game. And McKennie, I put him in my starting 11, despite like reading Sky, Corriere, Gazzetta, all of these guys saying, no, it's going to be like the traditional old players of Juve playing. I'm like, McKennie is going to start because Pirlo really likes that profile, that Vidal kind of profile.
So when you say you put him in your starting 11, are you talking about the fantasy football pool that we started at YYZ, or because you're already kicking my ass and I'm having a problem with that? I think I have to go in and start gaming it.
Yeah, but I made many mistakes in that one anyways. No, that's not it. Well, yes, I put him there, but I also put him in my pregame analysis.
Very good. Very good. I am so impressed. I'm so smitten by him. It's like love at first sight with this guy. And, you know, just as I was doubtful, but when I saw him against a little bit of the highlight reels, but, you know, you could make a YouTube highlight reel of me, you know, and I could look like Juventus quality, you know. You need like a decade worth of my game, but sorry, Ivan, you were trying to say something?
Calm down. Simmer down there.
Calm down. Yeah, calm down. Yeah, I know. You've seen me play, so you know.
We need the miracles of our lovely graphic talent in our club here for you to look good. But Yeah. Anyway, I'm just joking.
That's not good enough. That's still not good enough. Still wouldn't be good enough. Okay. But yeah, no, absolutely. McKennie was great. McKennie was, lived up to the billing. I agree with Giuseppe. Maybe he kind of took a bit of a half hour to settle into this match here. And hopefully, I mean, look, there are players like Rabiot who took 6 months, and we never saw him. And you know what? If it was up to me, I was ready to just push him off the cliff at the end of February or March, whenever we bought. I said he's useless, but totally won me over. Okay, so Rocco's talking too much. Rocco's going to shut up. I want to go down to. I think Ivan, do you want to come in on something? So
yeah, just want to let everybody know before the match today, Rocco and I had a quick chat, and we said we had a huge L, which is I'm fine getting this huge L. We both said who we would have dropped from the starting 11, and he ended up being probably one of the top 2 players on the field. We both said we would have dropped Ramsey, and we were completely and utterly surprised with that. I'm like, I'll take that out anytime, any day, any place. That's all. I wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, no, and that, I mean, it goes to show, like, it bodes really poorly for my Fantacalcio team, that's for sure. So let's come in. I actually want to give, I want to jump around a little bit. I wanted to give the word to Martina, who's joining us from Florida. And then after, if Monica is able to chat with us, I'm fully cognizant of the fact that she's at work. I'd like to go to her after that. But Martina, what was your first impression of gameplay, or what, formation, lineup, anything that we've been talking about so far, and any other nuggets you want to chat about? Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Martina. I mean, obviously, I was super impressed with the lineup because I usually prepare a little bit in advance, like 30 minutes for my lineup graphics that I post. And then out of nowhere, I saw the news that this Frabotta guy was going to play. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know who he was. And so I was like super confused, as all of us were. But I mean, I felt like if Pirlo, decided to put him on top of De Sciglio, it there was a reason. I mean, he obviously had the guts to do it. But, I mean, I was impressed. I was happy. Overall, the team was very good. And Frabotta, I mean, obviously it's one game, so we can't say that he's going to be the next Zambrotta. But still, he played good, and I'm happy. At least we have someone, to be a backup just in case whatever happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited, definitely pumped, even more than before the match, because I was happy about the match, seeing Juve again and Pirlo, but now seeing the team actually really play and going after the ball. When we lost the ball, they were fighting for it to get it back, and just a different attitude that I felt it was missing in the last few years of Juve. So I'm very excited about that because it was needed. And also, like, the fans that were able to be at the stadium, we heard them, and it also made an impact. I don't know if the players, because I didn't hear anyone say anything about them, but me watching the game, I heard them. So it was something also nice to have back finally. It was only 1,000, but we heard them, so that mattered for me.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the best moments in the match for me was, like, the most refreshing things, besides the fact that we were playing a lot of players that were making their debut for Juve. Some of them scored. There's very little talk about Kulusevski. Like that precision shot he took that put us ahead and opened up the match for us. Recouped a lot of balls, great play. But besides all that, was hearing I think it was like the 30th minute of the first half.
33.
The chant, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
what?
33, you said, I think.
It was the 33rd minute. Okay, there you go. So there was a chant, right? It was like, Forza Juve. Like, I can't remember it. I actually have it written down here somewhere. Fino alla fine Forza Juventus, right? Oh, that one, right? So, right? And that was like, oh my God, that's the first time I heard that in such a long time.
It's coming back, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like a breath of fresh air. It just kind of gave you a little bit of a flashback of normalcy, even though, the numbers are kind of starting to make their way up everywhere around the world for a second wave. So let's brace ourselves. But that said, that was so refreshing. So thank you so much, Martina, for bringing up that point. I want to go to Monica, if you can, if you're able to chat. If not, just say I can't talk, and that's cool. We can move on. But what did you make of that? What was your first impression of Pirlo's gameplay so far? I know you were very critical of. I remember you were very critical of Sarri's gameplay. You say, "Where's this Sarri ball? Where is it?" Right? So I know you pay attention to tactics, and I remember in the last times you were on, you were you made very astute observations. So if you can, if you want to come in, why don't you let us know?
Hello, can you guys hear me? I don't know, yes. I'm in the car.
Yes, we can.
So I need to just disclose this. So I watched the first half like in comfort on break, but the second half I was kind of going like this with the computer to the phone charting. Right. So I didn't really watch the second half properly. Cool. But my dad and brother say that it was much like the first half. So going based on that, it actually looks like there's a plan in place. Like the players know, like their positioning, and it was more fluid. So guys weren't just like lost.
Random.
And then, yeah, like the guys weren't lost, which in the past would slow down our play, and we would just like there would be no movement or anything like that. From what I saw, that's an improvement already in the runs that were being made. Ramsey looked really comfortable in that position, in which he was played there with Sarri, and everyone was like, no, this doesn't work. So I liked what I saw from Ramsey. As long as he stays healthy, I think he's that missing creativity from the midfield that we need. I don't know what else really.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. And I mean, you're driving, so don't worry about it. We'll come at the next round. At the next round, you'll be out of your car. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, you did mention your brother and your dad. Sorry, I missed that.
I was just gonna mention how Bonucci looked more comfortable when we are like in the phase of the back three. So yeah. I also like that.
Nice. No, that's true. I noticed that, and before I noticed that, I think Ivan called it like a month ago. One of the last virtual meetups, he said something like, "Yeah, like Sarri ball has completely neutralized Bonucci's gameplay." But you did mention your brother and you did mention your dad, and they're both here. So I want to give the conch over to them to give us their impressions, a little bit about the gameplay, and I'm going to introduce another topic just to keep us rolling. Maybe the man of the match, according to them, and maybe the player who impressed the least. So, first impressions of gameplay. Who do you think was? Sorry.
They won't be as good as me.
No, they won't be as good. We know. Well, that's why I let the best Lariola speak first. All right, go ahead, Mark. Can you, if you can?
Good.
Go ahead. There you are.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Monica's smarter than me, so she may have given a better analysis. I don't know. I mean, everyone's kind of said it here on who they were impressed with. Just, I mean, I'm hoping that it wasn't like a one-off game in terms of, I mean, because obviously Pirlo's never coached a game, so there's no film on him. So I mean, it'll, when we touch back in like week 5 or something, we'll be able to see whether he's still players are still playing like that and other coaches haven't figured him out yet, right? But I mean, someone, I can't remember, I think it was Mo maybe who said it, like night and day between last season, just not even the Roma game, because that game didn't really matter, but just the whole season. And then this one game here, it was like, it took Sarri the whole season to try and get Sarri ball going. And it looked like Pirlo was playing that really right from the start. I mean, I saw a stat at the end of they posted on Rye right after, it was like 600 passes or something, 90% actually. Like it was very fluid. the whole game. I mean, everyone kind of was impressive. Like, just compared to last season, it seems like they're buying in.
Yeah.
And I mean, Monica said it and everyone said it. As long as some players like Ramsey stay healthy, Chiellini stays healthy, I don't really think they need to pick anyone up. I'm assuming they're going to pick up Zeko, which will change formation. But for me, the overall take was I saw a mix of Conte with the Grinta, and then also Allegri just with, pure tactics in Pirlo, and hopefully with, the depth that they have, it seems like they can have versatile formations, and I think it'll be good for them long run. In terms of who we thought, I think the question was the best player and the least impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a few that kind of surprised me. The two for sure would be Ramsey and McKennie. Ramsey for sure, because he didn't really have a good season last year. He couldn't even go a full 90. And here he was doing so well. Least impressive? I mean, that's tough to, I don't know. Least impressed. I'm going to be honest with you. Least impressive.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, that's
a tough
fine,
question.
Yeah.
We'll let someone. I'm sure someone. I have someone in mind, but I'll let someone else.
If I have to say somebody, maybe Quadrado. Maybe. Because I thought even Danilo was kind of impressive, playing that back three and then attacking, moving forward. Sweet. But anyways, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you. And Dad agrees. Antonio?
I think so. Yeah. You agree?
Yeah, of course I agree.
Yeah.
But still, there is something that they have to fix on the midfield, because I don't know if you take a look at the game. There is still, especially second half, Sampdoria had a chance to score and tie.
Yeah.
So it's a minute that the midfield still doesn't filter the way it's supposed to. There is still they have to fix something else. But overall, Juventus is the best.
There you go. I love it. We could just end the thing right here. Just end it. But before people go, I know some folks have messaged that they have to duck out soon. I think I got a message from Marco F, who wanted to, who will probably have to go soon. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak before you leave, if he hasn't left yet. Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, guys. Good evening to everyone. I'm Marco from Toronto. I was pleasantly surprised with the lineup. I don't know about you guys, but I thought for sure we would have saw Arthur's debuts tonight, or today rather. But I'm not going to argue with what he put together, because I was just pleasantly surprised with everybody. And I really liked, I was ready to ship off Ramsey last season, but after seeing today's performance, maybe we'll hold on to him. But he was definitely the player of the match, in my opinion. My least favorite probably would have been Quadrado. But again, just like Antonio said, it's tough to pick, poor performer tonight, because the whole team played really well together. They really gelled. And I think the biggest difference, again, it's too early. I don't want to get overly excited. I just saw a lot of enthusiasm and positivity with the team, and just a lot of hunger and motivation. They had possession just like Sadi, but they showed just more hunger and determination tonight. I think that was the biggest difference. Maybe there's a better rapport with Pirlo as opposed to Sadi, right? So again, I don't want to get overly excited. It's the first game. We'll take it one game at a time. But I mean, overall, pleasantly surprised with what he put together tonight.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think there's a lot of what you said that I agree with. I think I know that Vito as well wanted to come in before he had to duck out. Go ahead, Vito. Please unmute yourself.
Hey guys, how are you? I felt that even though the formation, I felt it was a 3-5-2, and I thought Danilo first half was outstanding. I thought he was one of our surprise players. I thought he brought a really good element in attack, and they were having two central backs as Chiellini and Bonucci, and Danilo was doing more of the attacking from the D. I think we're still lacking that creativity in the center mid, to be honest with you. We have the the grinda now to win balls back and stuff, which we're missing that quality of connecting the midfield to the forwards. I think our wing backs, God help me, I've been saying this for 3 years, we need so much help on either sides. And it's still not addressed. I also think Kulusevski or whatever pronounce his name, he's a player that he's, in my opinion, in the system they were playing, he struggled because his back was towards net. And if you notice, every time his back was towards net, he lost every single ball. He's a player that likes to take guys on one-on-one, so he has to play a wing formation where he's taking on guys and getting crosses in or shooting on the net. But in that formation, he just was not the player that he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was left with the impression that, I haven't seen a lot of Kulusevski, but from seeing a little bit of Parma last year and all this, like, he's a player that thrives when he has a lot of meters in front of him.
Yeah.
So even if you play him as a trequartista or mezzala or wide or whatever, like, he'll have, if you give him like 10, 15 meters more than he's been afforded in this game, in this formation, I think he's bound to succeed.
Yeah.
Is that your sense, Vito?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it wasn't the best system for him, in my opinion, for him to be at his best. But, I thought our midfield was moving to the midfield. I thought we were okay. I thought Rabiot, he had his moments, and then after he died down. But again, we were recuperating balls very well, but I find that, and we've had this problem for a while now, and Ivan and Rocco, we spoke about this, there's that missing link that links up the forwards to be creative. I thought Ramsey had a good game, but I think it's devil's advocate. I think they're showcasing him, or he wants to show his worth so they can either transfer him or he wants to leave. So he's showing his worth. I thought he was fantastic. Very hungry, winning balls back, attacking, creating. But again, injuries and stuff like that. I think for Serie A, we're okay, but moving into Champions, I think I've been very depressed with this market this summer, off season. Very, 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 very depressed.
Okay, I'll end off with some Mercato news after we're done the draw and all that. But after this segment, we'll do the draw, and then and I'll give a little bit of what my impressions have been, to be honest. And the spoiler is that with all the constraints that there were around it, I'm not entirely unhappy with it. I think you'll be hard pressed to find a team that was able to invest in 3 players less than 24 years old, brand spanking new coach, all things considered, with little liquidity in terms of, with a minus $70 million bottom line. All things considered, I'm not displeased with it. I get it. I understand it. Are we equipped to win the Champions League? No. But anyway, I want to continue this on. I want to continue going. I think Said also will have to leave shortly. I'm not sure if I read that message too quickly, but I want to give him an opportunity to come in, and then Dan Chiappetta.
I guess it's my turn. Thanks, guys. I want to thank you guys for setting this up. Actually, this is really cool to see a lot of the people that I probably know from like Twitter and online, and it's kind of good to get everybody together, and especially the guys overseas, they're staying overnight, so it's pretty cool. I'm down to do this again, but I'll keep it short. I know everybody wants to talk, but it was great. It was a great game. I love how Pirlo, had the guts to, play the young players. It was a breath of fresh air. Shout out to McKinney, the American guy. For us, it's really exciting to see an American in Juve colors.
Yeah.
So hopefully that brings more attention to Juventus here. And, we're always hoping that they come and visit us again. So that's always good. But it's hard to pick to say who was the worst, honestly. It's everyone pretty much played their role today. Everybody was pretty solid. I was really happy that not many mistakes were happening, especially with the young guys like McKinney, Kulusevski, even what's his name, Trabator. I forgot what his name is, but Frabotta, yeah. You know, they made very little mistakes. You know, they if they did, they went after the ball. Everybody was trying to get the ball back. And what I love about McKinney is it kind of reminds you of a little bit of the Vidal days in his young days, where he just ran after everybody and tackled everybody down. So we're definitely missing that, and it was good. I mean, it was good to see everybody, and you know, I'm excited. I just hope it keeps going. I think next week's game is really important. Sampdoria wasn't a very good team, but
sparring partner,
yeah. So let's see what we do against Roma. You know, I'll you know, pass it on to everyone else. But yeah, it was a great game. I mean, no complaints from me.
Sweet, thank you very much, man. If you have to go, just thank you for participating. As the same goes for those who had to leave, including Joey, who's one of our brand new members who was very excited to get to meet, or at least get the chat with virtually, but it'll have to be for next time. But good news is that his name will still be entered in the draw that we're coming up on. So, but before that, I want to pass it on to Dan Capetta on first impressions, man of the match, maybe player who impressed the least. Go ahead, Dan.
I was happy with the way they played. The way they played, I hadn't seen that in a long time. Sure, everybody would agree. I think that it just goes to show that this was probably what Sadi was trying to get through to the players last year. I think that they just didn't want to play for him, and I think the way they played today, which is, you know, pretty much his system, it shows that, you know, they'd much rather play for Pirlo. Fresh mind, fresh coach, you know, he sees things differently. You know, this is what we've been dying to see. Quick ball movement, winning balls back. I mean, everybody's touched on it. So I'll just say that I was very, very happy with the way they played. Very happy with the victory, obviously, as I'm sure we all are. My man of the match, it would have to be Ramsey. He played fantastic. But honorable mention to McKennie, because that kid was all over the place. And so someone had posted something on our Facebook page. You know, when with the glasses off, you see Edgar Davids, but when you put the glasses on, you see McKennie.
Giuseppe had that on his live. I think he showed that picture.
So that was perfect. That was a perfect.
It was great.
It was a perfect way to, you know, to show how he played, and, you know, I mean, you know, to compare him to Davids. Maybe it's a little premature, but, you know, he played fantastic for his debut. The least impressed, I'll only say this because his crosses never ever find their market. For me, it was Cuadrado. I mean, I don't know. He just stop letting him cross the ball. I don't care if pass it off to somebody else. Let them try it. But other than that, we play fantastic. So very, very happy with the win.
Cool. From one Dan to the other, I want to go to Dan Di Chico, who's, as I mentioned, one of our members. Yes.
Rocco, excuse me, this is Matteo. Sorry, just want to say.
Oh, Matteo. No. But you know what, Matteo? Why don't you come? I thought you had left. I understand that you have a time constraint.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to say thanks to everybody. This is fantastic. Thank you, Rocco. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Stefania, to arranging that. And let's do this again. Definitely. Actually, Said stole my line because I was supposed to do that. And just one thing, if you give me 30 seconds, and
please.
I agree with everybody, with a lot that everybody said today, and definitely it looks like Pirlo brought back some enthusiasm in the team and in the fan base. And as a fan base, I think we need to be more positive, because, for example, it looks like we got Pirlo, so the enthusiasm was back. And this morning I woke up, and of course, living in LA, okay, I read the news 9 hours later than the other people, okay? Like you living in Toronto, you maybe you'll have 6-7 hours later than that usually. And I found in my Telegram and WhatsApp 2,000 notification because Pellegrini was leaving. I didn't know we have a new Maldini in our team, and was so transfer market window finishes on October 5th, and then we can really have a final opinion. I think the starting is positive. Is even too good to be true. Too good to be true. And let's be positive, guys. Let's be positive, and let's just be a fan, because at the end of the day, we love Juventus, and that's why we are here. Okay, so don't avoid all the negative and the criticism that was the last 2 years. That was almost unbearable after Allegri. Sorry. That's sorry. Want to say bye again, and let's do this again soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just wanted to also recognize that from the last time I did the little call up for everyone, that we've had Peter, Stefania, hi Stefania, Ali, Anthony, sorry, and Gianfranco, as well as the cutest, actually #1 cutest person who's on the call right now, who is Justin's son. I think, is that your son, Justin? Yeah. You don't have to unmute if you go ahead.
I stole him. He's not my kid. I just stole him down the street, put him in the
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I thought I was the only one who did that.
I'll try to keep him quiet, try not to get him screaming. So
wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Gianfranco, you want to say bye before you go? I know Gianfranco had just had to duck out. It looks like he left, but it's okay. No worries. Gianfranco, will still enter you in the draw. Dan Di Chico, sorry, come in. I promised you some airtime. Sorry, I know, guys. Be patient. We had 23 people on at once today, so we're trying to give everyone a little bit of airtime. So Dan D, go ahead, sir.
Hey, so just echoing a lot of what everyone else here said. Obviously, McKennie showed really well. Kulusevski had an awesome game, made some great attacking plays, scored a very nice goal. But I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody that nobody has mentioned yet, and I think it's very surprising considering the showing that he had today. King Kong. Kiello was just a stalwart in the back, and to see him play 80 minutes and be all over the pitch, left, right, center, tackles, nice through balls into the midfield to advance the play. I want to shout him out because he's obviously been on the sidelines for the better part of all of last season. I think he played, a few minutes at the very start before he hurt himself. And a little bit at the end, but for him to come out and play the 80 and look the way he did and step right back into being the captain, which we all knew he could and would, but his gameplay today was phenomenal. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the big number 3, Capitano, because to see him back is like a breath of fresh air in the back line. And I think his organization skills back there are really going to help us going forward without a doubt. So looking forward to seeing him in more minutes, not just for my Fantacalcio lineup, but just in general, because he's certainly my favorite defender. So, and obviously one of my favorite, if not my favorite Juve players, bar none. So,
yeah. He's you just add a little layer of security on when you get Chiellini in the back line. It's just something, and we saw it in the national team as well. I know someone on this call got into a little mini war with someone who's not a Juventus fan, who shall remain nameless, about that. But it's quite possible that individual knows a little bit less about soccer than I do. I know there aren't that many people in the world. So, okay. So I want to go back out west to Arya. I hope Arya is still on the call, and then we're going to go to Vishnu and the rest of the team. Is Arya still on?
Yes. Hi, from Los Angeles, Bianconeri. How are you? I'm from Los Angeles, but I'm actually part of the Juventus Club Silicon Valley. So it's kind of weird, but that's how it worked out. I'd just like to add to what Nicola said. I do think it was a short turnaround, so it's a little too early to make big conclusions. But for the most part, I have nothing but positive things to think about. So I'm right on the same wagon as everyone else. I'm very happy about today's performance.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to go to Vishnu and then to Peter, Stefania, Ali, and the rest of the group. Go ahead, Vishnu.
Hey everybody, it's Vishnu here. It's really nice, hearing all these positive comments about our lovely team. It's been a while. We've been having this positive, I guess, conversation. But in terms of the lineup, honestly, before the game, I really didn't know what to expect other than, we've been hearing, it's going to be like a 5 at the back, with 3 center back, and pretty much what we saw today. But I think Pirlo kept us guessing on the lineup in terms of the midfielders and the left back selection, right? I don't know if this is gonna, set precedent for, future games, keep people guessing. It's not a bad thing to keep our opponents, guessing, right? Make us less predictable. And then people have already mentioned about, McKennie and Kulusevski, obviously. But people have also mentioned, Chiellini back at the starting lineup. It's not just from, I think it's important from a defensive, point of view, but also, we have a major component of our, leadership back on the pitch, right? But then, this brings me a bit, curiosity about, how Arthur is going to fit, and when Dybala's back, right? Like it's a good headache to have, but, something to think about in future games, I guess.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right. We played without Dybala, right? So far, it's been. I think this is there's a record that we have for virtual meetups. It's been an hour and a bit, and we still haven't said Dybala yet. So Dybala just got named. That's pretty good. So everyone who prepared a shot to drink, just you can take it now. Thank you very much. Okay, so great. Thank you so much for that, man. Vishnu. Peter, and then Stefania, and then Ali, and then the rest. Peter, unmute yourself on anything that we talked about so far. Man of the match, player impressed you the least, gameplay, anything.
I think he may have dropped off, Rocco.
Okay, no worries. And then Stefania. Is she on? Okay.
She's on. I think she stepped away.
She's on mute right now, but that's fine. We'll give her.
Oh, there she is.
We'll skip. Oh, there she is. Hi. Please unmute yourself. Oh, Stefania, unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out, joining us today. Sorry that I came in a little bit late. But it's amazing seeing this great turnout and hearing everyone's opinions. And it's even more amazing that our opinions today are actually positive, which is a change from some of our last meetups. So not a whole lot that I can add. Very excited. There's, just a real tangible energy. And our players actually seem to look like they're actually having fun, which is amazing. Yeah, I am just excited. I'm just really excited. And then obviously Chiellini, my absolute favorite player, seeing him back is just amazing. And also seeing him back and wearing the captain's band and then just rocking it. And playing, and after everything he's been through too, super rough season, and his age, right? He is getting up there, and just seeing him play just with such heart and grinta, and really controlling that back is amazing. Also, Bonucci played better than we've seen him, and I also kind of attribute that to Chiellini's presence, again directing the back line, providing him with that support. So super excited seeing him back. Also seeing our new youth that's part of the rejuvenation project. McKennie, Kulusevski, amazing. Really excited.
The rejuvenation, if you will. Yeah, I got to get in there with the dad jokes. Come on. but no, I think there's so much to what you said that's 100% accurate. One thing that popped to my mind when you said that was how Bonucci thrives in a 3-man defense. He's so much better. We knew he struggled with. I haven't seen him do well in a 2-man defense since he was since he played with Ranocchia at Bari. So it's been a struggle. So it's great, and hopefully this is just a sign of better things to come. And just a little teaser for Ali coming up is what is going to happen once De Ligt comes back, right? I mean, you just may as well put the 0 in the put the clean sheet in before the game starts, right? Just put in the lineup and the game sheet in, right? Ali, come on in. What do you think, buddy? Thank you for being so patient, by the way.
Of course,
everybody.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. It was, first of all, nice seeing all of you with smiles on your faces. Finally, it's been a while. Last time I didn't partake in the I don't know if it got canceled, but I was so livid that I'm like, I can't even. But come on, I don't know. I think it was when we lost, and in a bad way too. Yeah, to Lyon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but anyways. First and foremost, I have to say that it was nice to see Chiellini back. And the way we played defense, in all fairness, I might have an unpopular opinion, was a tad bit shaky, but it was better than before. What was the highlight of the whole game for me was our youngsters. Ramsey was just mind-blowing. I mean, our youngsters were doing great. McKennie is a hybrid of Vidal, Davids, and I was so excited to see him. And they were playing what Sarri wanted to get to, and finally, what the difference was, they went from the Sarri ball at the end. They started taking risks. They would change flanks, take risky passes, and that was different. And it was such a breath of fresh air to see that happen. Another thing that I mentioned earlier in the group was I saw the formation. I saw a 5-4-1, and I saw Danilo. I'm like, what's Danilo doing there? And then suddenly I realized, I'm like, wait, this guy, the whole lead, he just threw in something like that, like curveball. He would go into the midfield and play with everyone, and boom, we have an extra midfielder in there. So, and this is something that was our weakness. Even when we played against Madrid, I remember Zidane brought in an extra midfielder, and we collapsed. And this is something that I saw happen. I'm like, whoa, that's so beautiful. Wow, Pirlo's already doing this. And it was really beautiful to see. Kulusevski, I mean, he's showing a lot of potential. He did have a couple of flimsy times, but it was amazing to see, and the way he finished, so composed, it was beautiful. And in terms of who was the man of the match for me, I would have to say it's Ramsey. And in terms of who I was not impressed by, there are 2 players I have to say. One is Cuadrado. I mean, just stop crossing, for God's sake. And then last but not least, I don't think in a million years anyone would ever think I would say this, but it's my man, Ronaldo. I don't know if you can see it or
really?
not. But
okay. Yeah.
So I was not impressed by him. I'll explain why. We should have had a start like Bayern did in Serie A. And he should have had multiple goals, at least a hat trick. And I was expecting him to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I always say this: when he sees this happen, he will always bounce back. He's so self-critical, he's hard on himself, and he always bounces back stronger.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to see a 7-2 scoreline or a 6-goal scoreline. We start off with a big, because we had the potential. We could have done it easily.
Yeah.
We could have done
I'll tell you something, Ali. If Juve were to win 7-2 or 7-0, I think tomorrow the Corriere dello Sport would shut down. They just close it. It's over. It's over. Zazzaroni would have a heart attack. He's like, what am I going to write about now? Scudetto's over. So it's a good thing we kept it at 3, I think. I'm okay with that. With that.
It was beautiful.
Go ahead, sir. I'll let you finish your thought. No, I'll let you finish. Then I'll go to Anthony. Go ahead.
It's and again, I'm very impressed by the defense. They have a lot of potential. Again, there's a lot of room to work on them. But the start that I've seen so far from Pirlo, if this continues onwards, is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of, I used to, and I still do, catch as many press conferences as I can. And I used to watch Allegri's press conferences. And when he used to say two things. He used to say, okay, after a game where we were so hopeful, we blew out a team, he used to say, okay, and then maybe the next game we'd lose. And he would say, listen, this is the situation here. We weren't superstars when we won that first game, and we're not all of a sudden donkeys now, right? Let's try to keep a little bit of balance. So my approach is just for my own sanity, is to try to keep my feet on the ground, but still be hopeful. There's a lot of positives, that said. And I think that's what all of our reaction right now is symptomatic of that positivity and a lot of that enthusiasm that so many have talked about. I'm gonna give the conch over to Anthony, who's been patiently waiting. I hope Anthony's still with us, and then we'll go to Justin, and then we're gonna do the drop. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Anthony.
Good to see everybody. Sorry I joined a bit late. Looks like I caught some the majority of it, I think, hopefully. But yeah, I'm again, like everybody here, I'm very happy with the results. Very happy with a lot of the performances. I don't want to spend too much time echoing what other people said, but I'll say, Ramsey for me, man of the match. I'll say I was really happy with McKinney. I was really happy with seeing Chiellini back. Bonucci looked good. Danilo looked good in the back there. If I had to single somebody out as the weakest one, I would say Cuadrado. He wasn't horrible, but needs improvement there. Other than that, I was very happy overall with the performance, and with Pirlo especially. I think you can already see the Pirlo effect that he's having on the players. They look more into the game, more willing to play for him versus last season with Sarri, where it looked, they looked moody. They looked they weren't in it every game. So I mean, it's still early days, obviously, this season. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's
nice. Thank you very much. And Justin, if you're willing and able to speak, I understand you were handling. Oh, okay. He's muted and yeah. Okay. So I'll just give you a little bit of my musings in terms of it's when you play with a formation that's so different from what everyone else is used to. It's been a while since we've played a 3-5-2. It's not surprising that the wing backs, which are probably the most technically or tactically difficult positions in that change from one formation to the other to interpret. So I'm not surprised that Cuadrado's getting probably the quote least valuable player of the game, if you will, and Frabotta really he's using his new guy card, so it's easy for him let's say to be excused. So I think those are gonna be two key positions where in the long run where we got to keep our eyes peeled. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. So now, without further ado, we want to do this draw. So what are we drawing? We are drawing, and in the meantime, I think I'll let Ivan and Stefania figure out some of the technicalities in terms of how this draw is going to happen. I will, in the meantime, speak a little bit over it and just say that we are very happy to draw this a copy of our new coach, Maestro Pirlo's. There you are. I think, therefore I play. Sorry, Descartes was I think, therefore I am. That was Descartes. Sorry, I got my philosophy 101 and soccer 101 mixed up. So and it's actually, it's not just any that's right, and it's not any copy, it is a signed copy of the book. So Stefania, that was amazing. Stefania, the president of our club, was able to procure it. I don't know how she does it. I don't ask any questions. She's like, we got this thing. It's for our members. I'm like, it's for our members. Good. I don't care who, like how you had to murder some. I don't know how you got it. All kidding aside. No. So yeah, and we have to draw it. So you know, I myself like to win things, and I'm usually happy to have other people win stuff. But this is one of the things that if I were to win it, I'd really like to have it. One of the things I covet. But that said, you know, I'm gonna myself recuse myself from the draw. So without any further ado, do we have? Do you guys? I'll let you and Stefania speak, Ivan, about how you're gonna set this up.
I've passed the host privileges to yourself. So you should be able to share your screen at the bottom. Once you select your window, you should have the ability to share screen.
Perfect. Let's give this a go.
Let's give it a shot. This should work. Yes.
Yeah. Make sure you don't have any funny stuff on your computer.
No.
Just speaking from personal bad experiences.
I'm trying to pull up the web page. So everything is electronic.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be good. Here we go. Can everyone see it now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. Oh, Baldo isn't here. Sorry. That was a failure.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
One more round.
That was a test, right? Yeah.
Test.
Okay, so that's Daniel. All right. Congrats, Daniel. Okay. All right. Okay, right. Yes. So best out of 3, right?
Seriously. All right. At least it's transparent, right?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, of course. Congrats, Monica, who called from her car and stayed on the call the entire time while she's at work. She kicks butt. Well deserved. You know what? I think it was Gary Lineker who said that soccer is a game played over 90 minutes, and in the end, the Germans win. This is like the, you know, draws and whatnot and contests are blah, blah, blah. But in the end, La Rola wins. So congratulations, Monica. Go ahead, Stefania, sorry. Oh, there she is. She's still on. The background to this, of course, is that last year we raffled off a signed Ronaldo jersey, and, you know, Mark won it. Mark, her brother, who was also on the call, won it. So yeah, all right. Well, congratulations. I'm sure like all the tension's been relieved now, and everyone's happy. I'm just gonna finish. I'm just gonna finish off.
Rocco.
Yes.
I just want to put an announcement in. I just saw a post from Nicolo Schira that there is interest from Galatasaray for number 6.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That was one of the 2 updates. Yeah, that's right. So that's good news. The other thing is that they're still, you know, unresolved. They still haven't resolved the severance pay, and you know he's still asking for.
Oh, Rocco, we lost you, but.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. No. Now what I was saying is just was looking for some back pay from over COVID, and you know, plus his full salary. So that's still in negotiations. I don't know how this Galatasaray interest comes in. If they would be looking to, you know, purchase him outright, or if it would likely be the same deal that happened with Higuain. You know, they would only pick him up once he's been completely freed himself of Juve. I seem to have misplaced my my Pirlo post-match info, but let's see if I can retrieve it.
Also, if I can chime in, Rocco, on the
Go ahead, please. Yeah, I found it, by the way.
My
Go
man
ahead.
of the match. I'm going to agree with Giuseppe.
Please.
I'm going to agree with Giuseppe because I think Giuseppe said that Mr. Rabiot, for him, was. Am I wrong? Am I misquoting you, Giuseppe? Because for me, Rabiot was absolutely monstrous in the midfield.
I said the first half it was over everyone, but if you look at the 90 minutes in total, I changed.
Okay. For me, he was monstrous in the midfield, and I think there was a graphic out there that we were 90% accurate on our passes. That's that's unheard of for us. And another thing is what we saw was a lot more vertical play instead of horizontal play with Juve today. It is a lot harder for the defending team to run backwards than sideways. And with Sarri, we'd let these guys set up sideways because we were width. It was all width. There was no vertical play to our game. And I think, the balls given to Ronaldo, Kulusevski giving through balls to Ronaldo, and the vertical play and how fast we were moving really made a difference in the way they played today. So I'm going to go with my man of the match because I thought that Rabiot, considering where he was, 6 months ago to now, is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde completely.
Yeah. And, and to be honest, a lot of people have been talking about Ramsey, and Ramsey, I think, he's been someone who has also disappointed largely, in my view. I think I remember him having a fantastic game against Inter, and then, kind of here and there, little bits and pieces of games, also a lot of injuries, right, which are never helpful. So, it was nice to see him put such a monstrous performance. As people understand are dropping off, and we're way beyond our time, I just want to read you some of the highlights from what Pirlo had to say post game, and then wrap up the little meetup that we've had. Not so little. So he said that we had an excellent first half, and it's a pity that we didn't score any more goals in the first 45 minutes. We dropped a bit in the second, but we were good at staying clear in the decisive moments and closing it up with Bonucci and Cristiano. It is important to talk with all the players. He was asked about how we did his man management, which is something that Giuseppe mentioned earlier. I remember how much it pleased me to chat with my coaches in the past. I talk a lot with my players. They talk a lot with me. This needs, and this is essential to understand their needs. On McKennie and Frabotta, he said Frabotta trains very well. I had no problems putting him in from the first minute because he is training very well, and I knew that he would not disappoint me. And McKennie made a mistake in the setup phase, and at the beginning was making some errors in terms of, he's talking about the forward play, but he's physically in great shape, and as a result, he managed to play a very good game. In terms of managing Ronaldo, he was asked about managing Ronaldo. I guess they're talking about eventually doing some rotation, right? He said, I talked about it with him. For now, he's not tired because we just started, but in the future, if there were matches that are where we're leading by a big score, or they're less important in terms of results, maybe we can save him. He said he's talking about his soccer, his football. I said we have 4 central midfielders who, due to the characteristics, play very well within a two-man central midfield. With a two-man central midfield, they are neither playmakers or mezzale. He said we're trying to defend with 4 players, and with 2 midfielders in front of that line. But while we are with the ball and going forward, we will work with a 3+2, meaning 3 central midfielders and 2 wingers coming up, with the full backs that release and go forward. Ronaldo and Kulusevski with Dybala as a center forward. So they're actually talking, they actually asked them, what about having Ronaldo, Dybala, Kulusevski, and a forward up top? So, something that Allegri, I believe, did in the 16-17 season. He said the more quality players we have, the better, but they also need to have characteristics that bring balance to the team and allow us to find the right measures. We will try to ensure that they can all be on the pitch at the same time. So that was it in terms of the salient points from Pirlo's post-match. I just wanted to give everyone, to thank everyone for being so patient. Thank you for your contributions. I'm so sorry that we only got to go around once. You know, we did our best in terms of managing 23 players. Yeah, see, I'm thinking like Pirlo already, right? Managing 23 people at once. So thank you so much. We're Bianconeri YYZ. Look out for this video on our YouTube channel as well as on our website. Subscribe if you wish. It's always nice to have subscriptions. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. That's at Juventus YYZ. And see you next time. Fino alla fine, Forza Juventus. All right.